Hey guys, it's Riva Timms, and today I have the long-awaited Ultimate Hero Guide for Star Wars Battlefront 2. This includes all heroes so far, including the Last Jedi DLC, Finn and Captain Phasma. By now, I'm sure everyone knows exactly what every hero does, what their abilities are and how to use them. But I want to hopefully teach you something new about them and give you some tricks that you may not have known to improve your gameplay even further. So I want to start off with something basic, something that can apply to every hero. So every hero has a combat role or a dodge. These are so useful in duels. Lightsaber strikes don't have that much of a range, they're considered a melee attack. These moves and these combat roles can help you avoid a lot of these lightsaber strikes pretty much most of the time and make a more tolerable hero duel. It's an easy way for a blaster hero to escape a lightsaber, so when it's kind of an unfavorable matchup against a blaster and a lightsaber, a combat role is always a way to get out and have a better chance at winning that duel. Before we get into the heroes, Amino were kind enough to sponsor this video. Amino is an app all about community. It's like a combination of Reddit and Tumblr. Members of the community can join in on public chats, vote in polls, they can take quizzes and share news updates with their friends and to the public. But of course, this is a Battlefront video, so I want to show you about their Star Wars communities. You can create an account and select your interests. And considering The Last Jedi has just came out and everyone has so many mixed opinions on it, I think this app is great to promote because you can go there, you can join a chat, you can talk about the film with people of similar interests and maybe even make some new friends. So if you're interested in this app, there's a link in the description if you'd like to download it. And that poll I made in the video, if you did like The Last Jedi or if you didn't like The Last Jedi, go vote in that because I'm kind of on the edge. I'm not sure if I like it or don't like it yet. But let's get back to the video. So let's start off with Vader. His lightsaber throw now passes through the enemy, meaning if they aren't defeated from it on the first passing, chances are they will be as the saber returns to you. So I'd advise you to use the saber in close encounters because say you're up against the heavy, using a lightsaber throw at close range will probably do about maybe 70 damage, I'm guessing. But on the way back, it will again do that extra damage. So you'll be able to take out heavy in one hit with that lightsaber throw if you use it at close range. Same thing applies to Darth Maul. He can also throw it and it will deal damage on the way back. However, his is a vertical throw, so accuracy is really important with him. Remember back when Vader got the multitasking feature in Battlefront 2015? He again has something similar going on. You can throw his lightsaber as you activate Focused Rage. Focused Rage requires you to pass through an animation, so using the saber while in this state is a lot better than doing nothing at all. However, it's not perfect. But it could be. You can do the same combination while in midair, which avoids the animation entirely, giving you buffs and a potential saber kill at the same time. When I first unlocked Vader, I hated his force choke ability, to be honest, because it makes you so vulnerable to troops and you're just standing there. But it depends how you use it. The newly added physics to the game offer a more realistic approach to gameplay. As you release an enemy from the choke, they fall to the ground and they have to pick themselves back up. So what I'd like to do is double tap the choke ability because you can easily put them in that state. While they're disabled, you can run at them and strike them with your lightsaber instead of just standing there and being a target as you spam your attack button. So you can quickly double tap the choke, they're held for like a brief second, and then they get released and they're disabled. So you can strike them without having to take any damage. Rey is slowly becoming my favourite light side hero, with a good mix of star cards. Her Saber Rush passes through enemies, but if you wish to stop at any time, just strike with your lightsaber and you will stop in place. Rey has a star card which reveals enemy locations to her teammates with her insight ability, so definitely make sure you unlock that. And it's perfect for a team play card in Heroes vs Villains. Lando, so his smoke grenade is great for hiding in, capturing objectives, or blocking off an area. But a good tip to keep in mind when you use Lando is that his lock-on ability actually works through his smoke. The indicators will show up when an enemy is in front of you, so it gives you an idea of where your enemies are and maybe an unexpected death on their part. Also, his disabler ability works like a shot grenade, but you have to trigger it yourself. You can trigger this pretty much at any time you like, when you're aiming or when you're using the lock-on. It's up to you when you want to detonate it. But I advise you to keep an eye on the bottom corner because it tells you how many enemies are near to your grenade. Just detonate it once you see a decent number. Palpatine works differently from the first Battlefront. Before, you had a button to attack and a button to block. Here it's just 2 attacks, one from each hand, the left and the right. So holding a right trigger, for example, will only make the right hand shoot lightning. The way Palpatine works is that you can use both hands at the same time by pressing your attack and your block. But that means you will overheat a lot faster than just using one hand. So it's a matter of opinion, it's how you choose to use him. But keep in mind that both hands will overheat faster, but in return you get more damage. So it's up to you how you want to use it. Let's get into the DLC for a second. Captain Phasma. So I had a video explaining exactly what she does, but unfortunately the footage messed up. But I still have some great tips for her that I'd like to share. Her sentry droid can do 4 things. It can shoot, reveal, and shock enemies. It can also detonate once Phasma chooses to trigger. There is a radius for when the droid will start working, so if you've placed it, be sure to stick next to it. Because in Heroes vs Villains, heroes getting shocked and revealed constantly is probably the best tactic out right now. Here the droid had shocked Rey. In that state I was able to do so much damage. Even if I didn't finish her off, I rolled back into the radius of the droid, making Rey get stunned again. Easiest kill I've probably ever done. It works best against lightsaber heroes because they can't really damage it and they are close range attackers. So they're going to want to get close to Phasma, but as soon as they do, they'll just get shocked by the droid. But if a blaster hero shoots the droid from a distance and it's quite vulnerable, it's okay because the droid has the ability to repair itself. That's considering the blaster hero doesn't completely take out the droid. So if the droid loses some health, a few seconds later it will regenerate all of it to be good as new. Finn, on the other hand, his pistol is very useful as a secondary weapon. Once your main blaster has overheated or is near overheating, activate the pistol. It doesn't carry over any of the overheat, so it's free to shoot straight as you activate it. I tend to use this when against a hero, and it's possible to combat roll and activate it at the same time. So while you're dodging a hero, you have switched your pistol without them maybe even knowing. So as soon as you're back in that upright position, you can start firing. Also, just use the pistol as a scan pulse. It reveals enemies around you and above or below. Great use to find out where you want to be and where your next target should be. Chewbacca's shot grenade splits into fragments when it hits something. What I'd recommend is throwing it on walls. The fragments can travel pretty far and even behind you sometimes. So it gives you a higher possibility of stunning someone around you. Chewie's slam can be used in 2 ways. If you don't want to run the full mile, the full marathon before slamming, just double tap the ability to instantly slam down. Or if you start running off a ledge or a roof, you will automatically begin a slam animation as soon as you fall off that ledge or that roof. And it's the same animation from the first game, Battlefront 2015. So that's a nice hidden feature right there. Yoda and Luke's force push is very tactical in Heroes vs Villains. Honestly, I don't really see it as an attack. You can push enemies away to get them off you. If they aren't the target, they're not really much of an interest for you in Heroes vs Villains. So push them away so you can focus on whoever is the target. Also, Luke can use his force push mid-air, which increases the range of how many enemies you can hit vertically. and makes you more evasive and avoids the animation of you extending your hand on the floor. Using that animation mid-air allows you to reach the ground so you can continue sprinting or attacking as soon as you hit the floor. Another hero best to use abilities mid-air is Kylo Ren. Both his freeze and his force pull work as he is jumping. A lot easier to kill enemies more fluently. Alright, so a quick break from the individual heroes for a sec. I want to tell you something that applies to all heroes. Well, pretty much most of the heroes. I won't say all of them. If you use an ability mid-air, but it cannot be used mid-air, it will trigger as soon as you hit a surface or if you hit the ground. For example, Darth Maul cannot use his spin attack while he is jumping, it's prevented. But if the ability is highlighted white, the ability will happen as soon as you touch a surface. And like I said, this applies to all heroes. Rey's Saber Dash, Luke and Yoda's Saber Rush, and many more abilities. The best use I have for this is Kylo Ren. Frenzy is the only ability where he cannot perform it mid-air, so activating it before you reach the floor will guarantee an unexpected and instant use of the ability. You can freeze while in mid-air. As you drop down, you can activate Frenzy to finish them off very quickly. So back to the individuals. Yoda's presence or health ability makes you stand still for a couple seconds. To avoid this, you can use the dash and activate the health at the same time, giving you health on the go and doesn't require you to stop moving. Bossk. I'm honestly gonna say Bossk is my go-to hero in Galactic Assault. So here's a few tips I've noticed. When he throws his grenades, they will only trigger once someone enters the radius of each one, outlined by these yellow circles. This leads to how you want to place them. Placing them on a wall will switch the radius to be vertical, making it affect people above and below you, and kind of acts like a barrier to a doorway. Again, Bossk has a useful star card, which allows him to regenerate health while he stands in his own Dioxis grenade. So throwing it on your position is a great idea to heal up and scare enemies off. Han Solo's shoulder charge can be cancelled whenever you want. Press the ability again to stop in place if you don't want to sprint for ages. Same thing with Chewbacca's slam. Han Solo can detonate his mine while he combat rolls, so allowing a smooth escape with a possibility of a kill. Leia's secondary fire has a splash damage and a target lock, so if you miss the shot, chances are the splash damage will end up doing a decent amount to the enemy. And for long range targets, we'll have a homing mechanic, so even if you miss a long range shot, the chances are the projectile will curve a little and hit the enemy. So it's very useful on maps like Crait and Theed, those long linear maps. Palpatine's aura ability slows all enemies and damages them slightly. You can use this force dash or combat roll while this is active. Dashing towards your targets allows you to kill them a lot faster and take less damage because they are affected in this slowed state. As for Iden, it was quite a struggle to find something very interesting about her, so what I'd like to give a tip on is that the pulse cannon can be used however many times you like, but it does require a full charge up. So be mindful when you use it, don't hold it out when you're around a lot of people, only use it as a sniper. The secondary fire adds to the primary fire's overheat. So if you're going to use secondary fire a lot, keep in mind that that's going to impact how much primary fire you can use. And finally, Boba Fett. While you have the For the Hunt ability active, which is his scan pulse, you have unlimited jetpack fuel while it's active. So make use of it while you can. So that's it for the ultimate hero guide for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I wanted to include the more useful tips, as I think everyone knows how every hero works now. If you have any tips that I missed out or anything you think I would benefit from or anyone else, then be sure to leave them in the comments section and I'll check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.